Hello, good evening, and welcome to another edition of the Women's Magazine, a program that empowers women with vital information to achieve their development targets. In our tonight's program, we'll bring you the role of rural women in our socio-economic development. Our second part will be centered on how women take care of their skin. I am Fatma Simaha. Thank you for joining us. Rural women play a critical role in both developed and developing nations. They enhance agricultural and rural development. They also improve food security and help reduce poverty level in communities. In that light, these prominent women who work closely with these women share the rural women play in the socio-economic development.
Women have been so instrumental in development of a country. Now we're talking about these rural women. They are working so hard. Some of us don't know exactly how hard these women work. They work so hard. They are in the farms. They are also what the work they are doing is helping feed their family, because they are the ones that help feed the family. So they are supporting their husbands with the work they are doing. And also by supporting their husbands, they are also supporting the community. These women are the ones that are making sure girls are enrolled in school and stay in school too. It's these women that are doing it. So we just don't realize how important they are in society. They are very important.
I think they have a very crucial role, and they have been playing a very important role in development, whether we recognize it or not. Because if you look at production of the food that we eat, they're the ones who produce it. If you look at how much they contribute to education, for example, they invest a lot of money. And in terms of social development, they are into everything. They are very enterprising. So I would say they are very key in development, and they are very important.
Recognizing the critical role and contribution of rural women, FAWEGAM, an NGO body, have been assisting these women in different areas.
For us at FAWEGAM, we are a women's organization. So we're looking at the development of women, make sure that women they are developed, and we do it that way. They too can in turn support their daughters. And then we can stop the cycle of poverty. And how are we doing that? We are doing that, we have what we call mothers clubs. At FAWEGAM we have about 275 mothers clubs nationwide, from Banjul to Koina right now. And we're working with these women. We train these women. We train them in advocacy. We train them in fundraising, in management, and so that they can be sustainable. And then that way, what the women do in turn, they advocate for girls' education. They make sure they work in the communities, the schools that they are attached to, they work with them. And then they make sure the girls stay in school. If a girl doesn't come to school, they find out why she's not in school. They counsel the girls. They also, if they hear of an early marriage case, they intervene to make sure that the girls are left in school until they finish. And then if the girls are not performing also, they find out. So these women, this is what we train them to do. So they are our watchdogs out there in the communities, because they are the ones that live in the communities. They help us make sure we develop these girls.
Do they have problems that is really hindering their contributions to socio-economic development?
The biggest problem for us is, one, most of the women in the rural community are not educated. They are illiterates. So that really hinders them. And because they are not educated, they can be, people can fool them. But now what we do is we make sure they have adult literacy. Another big problem is finance. There's just not enough money. The women are working. Some women, they don't have land, so they have to farm on somebody else's land. So land is another issue for women. And when they farm, they don't have the market also to sell what they have farmed. So these are the few issues. It all boils down to finance. If we have more money to support the women, you will really see a difference.
It is known that rural women are strong, powerful, and capable of taking care of themselves and their families, and are always ready to the challenges of survival.
They produce and they do not have a say on how much their products cost. They invest a lot of time and energy in producing. Okay, let's look at vegetables, for example. When they produce these vegetables, there are a lot of them in the market. So they are forced to sell at cutaway prices. So they do not have a say. Then the amount of money they have, they use it in the household. Because most of the time, all the condiments in the household, they are the ones who put them there. So it's like a vicious cycle for them. They work hard, they get very little money, and all the little that they have, they also use within the family. They are left with little for themselves. So I think that's what is contributing in their poverty, even though they work a lot.
The rural women face gender disparities in access to and control over land, as well as lack of access to other reproductive resources and services.
We have put some programs in place. One is what we were just doing earlier this year. We call it Rural Women Mobile Project, which is to empower the women through communications, and these women are given mobile phones. It's a pilot project in the URR. So we have 1,000 women with mobile phones right now, and they're using these phones to communicate with each other. Like if there's education issue, there's education issue, there's health issue, there's agriculture. So we make sure that the women communicate with each other. They send messages instead of paying fare and taking time off their work. They will go send messages to the women in the other communities, and if they receive messages, they will in turn share it with those that don't have mobile phones. So this is one way to empower the women. That's one way. And like I said, the other way for us with the Mothers Club also, we give them seed money, which is a small amount, but they work with it. They work with the seed money and they grow it, and they are able to support the schools. So that, for us, it's education, and we know in order for one to get out of poverty, it's through education. Maybe these women, they have not gone to school, but they'll make sure their daughters go to school so that we can end this cycle of poverty. And that's how we are supporting the women.
Rural women's access to education and training can have a major impact on their potentials to access and benefit from income-generating opportunities and improve their overall well-being.
In collaboration with the Ministry of Education and UNICEF, FAWE has been working with the mothers because they are very instrumental in getting children in school, not only the female children, but even the boys. So what we do is we work with them. In some of the schools, we provide them with skills, with seed money, some amount of money which they use for business, and we provide them with skills so that they can market those skills to top up on what they have. So it's like they are our link within the community. A lot of issues that we would want to discuss at community level, we work with them, especially their executive. We have trainings for them on different issues like on violence in schools, on support for their children in school, so that they will be able to trickle down this message within their own communities.
Do you think these rural women will achieve their development goal?